Hello everyone and welcome back to Whisky Wednesday. We are on sample 4 of this Plantation set, and today we're talking about their blended style. I'll say that again because I kind of blurred the word. The blended style of Guatemalan and Belize rum. Now it's a Gran Añejo rum. It's still classed as a Gran Terroir. It's 42% alcohol and it comes in this rather fetching blue label. Quite a nice contrast to the others, which just have kind of cream labels. I'll put it back in this box just so you can see where we're at. So after this one, we've only got 2 more. I really don't want these to fall out of it. But we've done these 3. We are now here. And then we've got a Jamaican 100% pot still, and then the XO to finish it all off with. But while I was just doing a bit of research for this, I was trying to figure out what Guatemalan and Belizean, I assume that's the correct word, Belizean rum is like, or do they have specific standards, specific styles? From what I could read up, they adhere to the same manufacturing processes as places like Venezuela and Barbados and everything like that. I forget the acronym, it begins with a C. It's like Caramo or Camaro, which I think was introduced in the mid-1970s to help rum kind of become a bit more unified, because people say rum doesn't have any rules. It does have rules, it's just it can change depending on what type of rum you make. For instance, for Haitian rums and La Martinique and Saint Bart's rums, massive French influence, totally get that. Jamaican rums obviously have their own thing going on and sometimes can be classed as English rums, but that topic can be up for debate. And then you've got numerous other things, Venezuela, Guyana, and I just wanted to know if there was a specific thing that Belizean rum does and that Guatemalan rum does. Now, the most famous Guatemalan rum, Ron Zacapa, it's massive. I don't know if that is what is in this. Guatemalan rums, there's not many. There's only, sorry, no, we've already done Guatemalan rums. Belizean rums, there was only 2. One was called Traveler's Rum, and I unfortunately forget the name of the other one. But not as much rum in Belize as you would think, but a decent amount in Guatemala for sure. Not as much as there is in Jamaica and Barbados and Cuba. But I couldn't really seem to find any styles apart from they make white rums, gold rums, dark rums, and quite a lot of heavily aged rum too. So I can only assume those 2 styles of rum are quite closely related to typical Barbados rums. But that's enough of that. At 42%, it's a little bit stronger than the last 3 we've had. In fact, it's the strongest. Just pull this up to the glass for you. Quite a nice colour. Unknown if that colour is natural, given the honesty that Plantation have on their website about they do add colouring if the batches look very different. It doesn't particularly bother me, but I know it can for some of you out there, so I would assume that probably has a little bit of colouring in it, but I wouldn't let that annoy you at all, really. It's been in the glass for about an hour. I've been for a run again, but this time I'm not as out of breath. But let's give this a smell and see what's going on. Ooh. So when I first poured this, I could smell watermelon, crystallized watermelon. I know that's weirdly specific, but if you've got a Cuba watermelon and you crystallize it like you would a piece of ginger, that was the kind of aroma I was getting, sweet, kind of juicy, a bit fresh. This has a slight mustiness to it, which is quite welcoming. And still some quite nice fruit notes in it too. But I suppose musty fruit doesn't sound particularly appealing. The watermelon thing's still there with quite a lot of red apple. Think red fruits, but a bit juicier, not like raspberry or strawberry, more exotic. That musty thing in the back's quite interesting. It reminds me a little bit of sage. Think of cooking herbs, sage, rosemary. And then quite interestingly enough, even though this isn't a Martinique rum or anything to do with rum agricole, it has this quite nice clarin-like quality hidden away in the back. I've had a few samples and full-size bottles of Clarin rum over the years and just kind of kept it to myself. And I've always associated them with the smell of things like barbecue sauce and like tomato sauces, not quite ketchup, but they have this very like fresh acidity to them, but with quite a lot of sweetness. And there's a little bit of that barbecue-y tomato thing really in the back of this. It smells clean though. It does actually have quite a nice grassy quality to it as well. It's not a particularly punchy rum. Just gonna see if I can get a little closer for all the body on that now. It has coated the glass quite nicely. But yeah, quite a lot going on in there. Fresh fruit, exotic fruits, a little bit of green, earthy herbiness to it, or mustiness as I called it. And then this very distant barbecue-y tomato thing. Let's taste, because I've never tried this before. So this will be a walk in the park for all of us. So the watermelon juicy thing, that retains throughout all of it. The initial hit on the tongue is like wonderfully sweet. Like refreshingly sweet, is almost a minty quality to it. I love mint in any drink. Like I love mojito, I love like mint juleps. Put mint in anything and I'm game. And this has that watermelon mint, super cleansing, refreshing start. It maintains throughout all the tongue and it still maintains on the finish. The finish is wonderfully refreshing. It's such a fruit-driven style. As I was kind of working it around my mouth, that Clarin style thing started to develop a little bit more. It became a little bit spicier. It became a little bit, not quite salty, but leaning into savoury, but that sagey rosemary thing, you know, that's quite savoury in itself. I really like that. In fact, what I've not done is seen how much a bottle of that costs, so let's do that now. Because I don't think it's going to be expensive, given all the others are averaging about sort of £25 a bottle. So, Plantation, Gran Añejo. Oh, is it Añejo? Oh, it is Gran Añejo. Yeah, Gran Añejo. Boom. Average price. So it's the most expensive one yet. It's roughly coming in at £33 on average. So not expensive at all. And that is by far and away my favourite so far. I would happily just drink that as it is. But I bet that would make a very, very good El Presidente cocktail. There is a hit for something that is just over £30 a bottle. There is quite a lot of depth to that, which I like, but it still maintains a fresh fruitiness and quite a refreshing flavour profile. That's wonderful. I'm going to enjoy drinking that while we get around and do some housework. So yeah, the last two, we're not scoring these, but that is just my favourite one so far. So we've got the 3-star, which is the white rum, and then the Gran Añejo Guatemala and Belizean rum, my two favourites. And then coming up in the next 2 weeks, we will be doing this wonderful looking thing, 100% Jamaican pot still. And as you'll see, it's actually, Jamaica is spelled X-A-Y-M-A-C-A. I'll cover that. It's quite an interesting bit of history. And the Plantation XO, which I have tried in the past and is delicious. One thing I did forget to mention, I think is the case with all of these rums, is that they are matured in Barbados for quite a long amount of time. And I'm pretty sure they are all finished in French cognac casks in France. I don't know if the Jamaican one is, but the four that we've tried, the white one isn't, but the original dark, the Gran Reserve and the Gran Añejo all are. But yes, I'm looking forward to that because Jamaican pot still rum is very different. But all in all, really, really like that one. If you're looking for just a really good rum at £30 a bottle, would highly recommend that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I need to get a shower, and I will see you all soon. Cheers.